Hello guys, today we're gonna learn something about Evans Gambit, the very unexpected sharp gambit that you can play in familiar Italian opening. Let's go. So we go e4, e5, knight c3, knight c6, bishop c4, and here your opponent is totally relaxed. He can see he can play Italian opening. He even doesn't want to play this knight f6 to avoid fide lever attack on f7, so he doesn't play knight f6 and he plays just bishop c5, this silent move to go to traditional Italian opening. And here you can make a surprise for your opponent. It's really surprise move, b4, Evans Gambit. Welcome. So the idea of this Evans Gambit that you give this b4 pawn, you lure out these black pieces to b4 in order to free the control on d4 central square, and you can quickly take the center. First you would support this with c3 pawn, and then you would move this central d4 pawn. So how black could react here? They could take this pawn with the bishop or with the knight. So the main line is to take it with the bishop, but let's check what would happen if black take it with the knight. Knight b4, we have this tempo c3, and knight goes back to c6. The thing is that if your opponent takes this with a bishop, you will get to the same position, c3, and most of your opponent move back the bishop to c5 point, and you have the same position no matter if they take with the knight or with the bishop, and you can move your central pawn to d4. And here black takes. Of course you can take, it's a theoretical variation, but you should mind this bishop b4 check. You should defend like with this bishop, for example. You can learn this variation, but what I suggest is, I guess, more interesting one, is you're not in a hurry to take this pawn, you just castle short. You hide your king quickly and you give another piece to your opponent, another pawn to your opponent. So black takes another pawn and we attack this f7, and we can sacrifice the bishop immediately. Why? Because we have this double threatening check and we're gonna take this bishop back, and we move opponent's king to the center. King a8, we take the bishop. Now we're going to take this pawn back, and for example d6, we take this pawn back, we attack g7 point, and black pieces are stuck on the 8 line and they cannot castle because king is already moved, right? So now they should defend this g7 point and our king is saved, it's castled already. So they should defend this with the knight f6, it's a natural move, and another natural move is bishop g5. We can pin this knight, going to move our rook to this file. So that's the plan. Bishop g5, black attacks our bishop, we don't trade it, we just slide to h4 and move it to g3. Of course black cannot take this pawn because we're gonna pin this. Oh wait, maybe because it's already pinned and rook on h8 is hanging. Yeah, so the pawn is definitely not taken, and maybe they should move the rook from the pin or move the bishop to g4. So they try to develop somehow. We also continue our development with the other knight, and we're going to push our pawn. For example, queen e7, we push our pawn to e5, take, and what we have is these strong diagonals. We have opened this e file, we're gonna move this rook, and we are so fine here. Let's go to the beginning, to this critical moment. After b4, we're sacrificing the pawn, Evans Gambit, bishop takes, c3, and if they go back, bishop c5, or else if they take the knight and after c3 go back with the knight. In both cases we move just d4, take, and we're not in a hurry to take, we castle short. Remember, to castle short, not taking central pawn, to sacrifice the pawn, sacrifice the bishop, and to take back this bishop on this double threatening. So let's remember this, the main trap. So let's return back, bishop b4, c3, And most of your opponent would go to bishop to c5. But those who learn theory could know that main moves here is bishop a5 or bishop e7. Let's check, for example, bishop a5. The nice thing is you don't need to learn anything else but d4. So you do pretty much the same. d4, ed, castle shot again. We don't take it. So the pawn is pinned here, so we cannot take anyway. We castle shot, and after black takes another pawn, we cannot sacrifice the bishop to f7, right, because this bishop is defended with the knight. But we have this tempo, queen b3. So if bishop goes to a5, just remember this main plan to move your queen to b3 and to pressure this f7 point and to also attack this c3 point to take it back. So black should somehow defend this. Queen e7 like is the only move, and we just take this pawn and we are good. So we're attacking f7 point. We totally developed, we hidden our king, and we have this central square for the knight. It's really cool square going with the tempo, so probably black would rather trade this. And if they're not, if they develop their knight to control this square, we have this e5 tempo. We are attacking the knight. Knight has to go somewhere, for example g4, and we put our knight to the square and queen back and bishop attacking the queen. After, for example, f6, because I cannot see another defense, we just take and we make this attack. Bishop h6 check and move king to the center, and here we take this e file. We don't care, we give the rook for the bishop because mate attack. But let's go back. So now we can see that black should trade this strong knight, otherwise they have this checkmate attack. Take with the queen, we're attacking g7 point. They move their knight to f6, and we have this again, this e5 tempo. We always have it in Evans Gambit. And knight e4, queen e3. They should move their knight, and just remember another main move, bishop a3 in Evans Gambit is the standard plan to develop your bishop to a3, to pin the knight, for example, in this case, and bishop here is just a laser beam, and the position is just fine for white. Let's return back after b4, after black takes c3, black goes back, and we move d4, take, castle, and here we only watched variation where black continue taking these pawns. What if black try to develop fast? Then we just take cd, and we are so fine with this strong pawn center. They should move their bishop back, and here we have e5, d5. Our pieces are free to develop. We can develop again this bishop to a3, remember this way. We don't let them castling. Of course, this pawn is not taken because of e-file, or even we can attack the knight with the bishop, because we block this defense, d5 with the pawn. We attack with the bishop, and after they move back their knight, we just take this e-file using our laser beam bishop on a3. Yeah. So just remember, if black doesn't take c3 pawn, we take the center with these two pawns, and we just play in the center. Let's return back a bit, and for example, if they move d6 pawn, taking this e5 square control, anyway, we can move this pawn, take, but don't take dc, because queen's trading is not in our interest. We don't want to trade the queen because we pawn down. Don't forget this, but you always have this queen b3 tempo. Also remember this main move. You pressure to f7, and after black defend it, they should defend it somehow, and just take a note, they cannot castle because of our bishop on a3. Yeah, that's really strong bishop. They should defend f7 point, and only after that we can just take this pawn, not trading the queens. and we are so fine here, right? So black king is in the center, this knight is attacked, black don't take this deceive pawn, we have this strong center, we develop our bishop to a3, and we move our queen to b3, and winning with the centralized black king. So try to play Evans Gambit, have a lot of fun, and write comments.